The Denver Broncos are moving on from Samaje Perine. What is going to be the next step for the veteran running back? But before we talk about that, do you like this sign behind me? Today's video is sponsored by Whitebeard Signworks. Use code BS15 in the description down below to save $15 off your first purchase on NFL team logo signs just like this one. Not a Broncos fan? Well, first of all, I don't know why you're watching this channel, but if you're not a Broncos fan and you want your own custom team logo, get in touch with him directly through his website and he can get you a custom one. Alright guys, link in the description down below. BS15, save $15 off. Thank you so much to Whitebeard Signworks. Now back to Samaje Perine. Perine is going to be heavily showcased by the Denver Broncos in their preseason finale against the Arizona Cardinals. He is not going to make this team. He's just been usurped on the depth chart by younger players in Audric Estime and Jaleel McLaughlin, who collectively can fill the role that Samaje Perine filled last year. Perine was the main third down back for the Denver Broncos. He was the best pass protecting back last year, and he was also the best receiving back last year. With Javonte Williams fully healthy, first of all, and then with Audric Estime and Jaleel McLaughlin really kind of as a tandem filling what Samaje Perine's role was, Perine has just become expendable. Audric Estime will fill the role of the pass-protecting running back, where Jaleel McLaughlin will fill the role of kind of the receiving back, the scat back. He's almost like a Darren Sproles type player. He's not going to get the same type of receptions per se as Samaje Perine, but he's still going to be a really good receiving back out of the backfield. He's just obviously not quite as physical because he's 50 pounds lighter and quite a few inches smaller than Samaje Perine is, but we already know how special Jaleel McLaughlin is. I don't need to sit here and explain that. But with Audric Estime, he put a lot of good pass protection reps on tape throughout the preseason. And that is really, I think, what put him over the top of Samaje Perine. That, of course, and the fact that he's a fifth-round rookie. But with Perine, he's a good player, and there are other teams out there that will use him. I think about the Cincinnati Bengals, who wanted to re-sign him in the 2023 offseason before Perine ultimately signed with Denver. But what swung the pendulum for Perine in favor of the Broncos was they were unsure about what the future was in Cincinnati for Joe Mixon. And ultimately, that ended up materializing in Joe Mixon getting traded this offseason. Perine wanted a more stable situation with his running mate, and last year, he thought he had a chance to possibly start with Javonte Williams coming off of his injury. Now, it's a different situation there in Cincinnati, but reports coming out of there have indicated that if Perine hits the open market, the Bengals would welcome him back with open arms. He would be a good rotational back behind Zach Moss. They've also got a couple of younger backs there as well, so Cincinnati could be a good fit for Samaje Perine. Another possible fit is the Houston Texans. Why not reunite him with Joe Mixon? There's been some rumors about Dameon Pierce, their current RB2, being on the trade block because almost anywhere else Pierce would go, he'd be an RB1. He's just pigeonholed on the depth chart right now behind Joe Mixon. If the Texans do indeed move on from Dameon Pierce, then they should bring in a reliable RB2 in Samaje Perine, who was teammates with him at Oklahoma, teammates with him in Cincinnati. They're good friends off the field. They complement their games really well. So I really think that Samaje Perine would make a lot of sense both in Cincinnati as well as Houston. But there are other teams out there that could be interested in a third down back who's a really good receiving back out of the backfield. So I think Perine is going to have a place in the NFL. It's just not here in Denver. The Broncos are going to showcase him big time in this Arizona game. They're going to give him a lot of looks to try to showcase to a team why they should give up maybe a conditional 7th round pick or something like that for Perine's services. It would at least net the Broncos some positive draft capital, and it would leave Denver in a positive spot after moving on from Perine. But other teams might know that the Broncos are going to move on from Perine anyway, also because they can save $3.5 million by cutting him. That's another driving force for the Broncos moving on from Samaje Perine. So at that rate, other teams might just be like, all right, we're not going to give up draft capital for a player that's going to end up being cut, and we can go ahead and just get that player for free. But if they want to secure Samaje Perine's services, then I ultimately feel like they may be interested in giving up a draft pick. Two teams, again, that I'm keeping an eye on are the Houston Texans and the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, Broncos country, let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the emergence of Audric Estime and Jaleel McLaughlin, and do you guys feel comfortable with the team moving on from Samaje Perine? At this point in time, there's no avenue forward for Samaje Perine to be on this roster. Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are two free and easy ways to show your support. Helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.